everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Andy Serling in the clubhouse studio here at Aqueduct. My good friend, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Stabile. He's to my left. He'll be joining me to talk about today's 8-race card. Looking forward to the action. Of course, the weekend coming up as well, and we know, and you know, the drill. Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member. We're going to have a match of up to $200 deposit bonus, and use the promo code He's Hard to Forget.
Boom.
The Big A Anthony Stabile. Use promo code Big A. We're offering the 20% Friday early pick 4 bonus, app only. Got to play that pick 4. 2 through, what race you calling?
I'm calling a fourth.
Fourth race, third leg of that pick 4. Fourth leg, of course, of the early pick 5 as well. Also want to remind people, the cross country pick 5. I just did a podcast with the HP podcast with Scott Carson. Had a good time. Talked about all the races we got together. It was a lot of fun, actually. That I'm sure that check that out on Twitter. I'll retweet that as well. 2 races from Tampa, 2 from Oaklawn. Interesting races, interesting sequence. I know you probably looked at a couple of them. Yeah, starts at Tampa, ends up at Oaklawn. Be covering some of those races on our
America's Day at the Races.
Day at the Races.
Time that start tomorrow, 4 o'clock?
I think it's 3 to 6:30.
Okay.
I'll be upstairs covering the Aqueduct races. But there's a whole plethora of races on that tomorrow.
I love that word. You're a big fan of plethora as well. I'm a big fan of that word. Great word.
Great word. You know, I used to use that word a lot. David Letterman. Plethora.
Yes.
It was like big word. Gotham Betting Challenge.
Here it is.
Also, that's Saturday, March 7th. You can sign up. You've still got 2 weeks, 13 days to sign up, March 5th. Play it online through Naira Bets. Play it on track. $500 entry fee. Half goes to the prize pool. Half towards your live bankroll. You keep any money as you keep, even if you're not in the prize pool. How you doing today?
And there's no better day. Listen, I love getting down and dirty at the Big A on a Saturday afternoon. But if you want to play from home, you can play that contest as well from your Naira Bets account. So we started that last fall, and you can get involved and just do it from the luxury of your own living room.
What are some of your favorite Gotham?
Well, I mean, the one that of course sticks. Well, you know what? I knee jerk 2 stick out.
I missed my favorite Gotham.
Easy Goer, of course.
I was here for that. I missed the Wood. I was in a wedding.
Okay. Easy Goer, and one of the best horse races. There was a Twitter thread about this the other day. One of the best horse races I've ever seen live. Devil is Due, Lure.
I was here for that.
92. Sure. I mean,
I was not here for Proud Appeal and Cure the Blues. Is that before your time? I was in college.
84?
No, it was like 81.
81? 81.
Stan Huff and Leroy Jolly, right?
That Lure, Devil is Due. I mean, Lure went on to win, multiple Breeders' Cup races and was a monster on the turf. People forget that he had the track record at Belmont for 5 furlongs for a long time on the dirt.
In his debut.
And then Devil is Due. I mean, multiple Grade 1 winner.
$4.6
million when 4.6 million wasn't taking a plane ride to Saudi Arabia, when it was like running around the country and just going to Oaklawn.
The Chief didn't miss a dance with that horse.
Man,
yeah, no,
man, Herbie McCauley and everybody. He won that. He won the. Remember they had the points that time. That series.
The ARCS, the American Racing Championship.
He won that. Yes, he did. He won that. So he won that contest.
One of my favorite Gothams, actually wasn't here for it, but I bet it. I was at a Dead show in Worcester. Was Gone West when he won the Gotham.
87.
Yep. Might have been 2 divisions. Might have been 2 divisions.
Maybe.
I know it was 2 the next year. I know Magombo won one of the divisions.
In 88. Yeah.
Beat Groovy maybe and Tasso.
He beat. I remember he beat Tasso.
The second horse was disqualified. Tasso was put up for second.
Yep.
It might have been 2 divisions, but there are a lot of great Gothams.
Whenever the Gotham was run, we were playing football on the grass patch on the first floor here. Everything stopped for the Gotham.
Great race.
Yeah.
I love the flat mile race, and I love that we brought it back by being able to race the main track to a flat mile around 1 turn. Race number 1. Anthony had his first winner, Ka-Ching, in race number 1. He somehow picked Plebe. I think he had fallen down and hit his head when he was handicapping this race. The good news for him is that Bruce Levine said, Anthony, I like you too much. I can't let you embarrass yourself. And I know you scratched into a 3 to 5 shot, but I don't know how this horse is going to lose weight. I have a stat. I think I have a stat for this. Do I have a stat for this horse? I have a stat.
Wow.
How about this stat for Linda Rice?
It's like a video game stat.
The loser was second, by the way. Stretch outs off the claim.
Yikes.
You know, we don't want to waste time, but I'd love to have known what was going through your brain when you picked the other horse against it.
Do you really want to know?
No, I really don't.
Exactly.
His horse is going to win.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is something. That's literally like a Tecmo Bowl stat from like when I was a kid in '91.
Right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That might be the most impressive, like real stat I've ever seen. 8 for 9.
Yeah, with the second.
Chad Brown was like 9 for 11 with the Park Shippers a few years ago. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think 2 horses won. That might be more impressive though. I mean, 1 loser in the horse ran second.
And I don't know who you take against this horse. I guess DeBerg is the second horse. There's not really much to say. If this horse shows up at all, he's going to beat this field.
This could be like one of those things where the pick 5 pays less than the pick 4.
But the pick 4, you get the 20% bonus through Naira Bets, so you may be better off playing the pick 4 anyhow.
Yep.
Just a thought. Through Naira Bets, that is.
Yes.
Race number 2. Race number 2, let's look at Radiant Rhythm, who I believe you have on top of this race. I'm not going to argue against. Go ahead on Radiant Rhythm. You picked him.
Well, I mean, it's not really much to.
I think there is.
To say.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the big knock, of course, is the fact that this horse hasn't won since being claimed from George Navarro.
Well, why would you like him off of this race? I think it's important.
Off of the last race? Yeah. I mean, she's just.
The reason to like her off the last race, Anthony, is we saw Gold Rail last time, and she was chasing 3 wide the whole way around the racetrack. So she was severely compromised by the track, and the horse who won was on the rail. The horse who was second was towards the inside and angled out.
I'm not necessarily completely worried about last time. For me, it was she's just been running against.
But she runs her last race, going to win.
Yeah, she's just been running against much better.
Why is Linda dropping this horse off the last race? Not the last race, I'd be encouraged to maybe run this horse for more.
You know,
I don't know. Maybe the races aren't coming up. I don't know what's in the book. Maybe it's as simple a situation as that.
I don't know if another 4,000. You see, the claiming game is a lot different now. I don't know if another 4,000 is going to deter people from claiming her or not claim her. I think with a filly like her,
if you get her claimed, wouldn't you rather have the extra money in your pocket?
But I think you run these horses that are at the bottom level when the races come up. But she mentioned that to us about Stefan.
I don't. No, she mentioned to me mocking you.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Let's get the whole story out
you
there.
run these horses at the bottom levels when the race comes up.
No,
and
as I said, I don't know. It was in the condition book, and I don't know. She's very logical, but she ran extremely well last time, and that's the thing. Her last race is good enough. But even when you factor in the fact that she was against the track, it makes it even better. And you've also got a race where we'll take a look at cover photos last win, where you've got cover photo and keep your distance coming off of reasonable wins, particularly cover photo, but both of them went from high percentage barns to low percentage barns.
Yeah.
And even though it's reasonably short time, particularly keep your distance, who's coming back in just a week, I think it's a drop. And also, keep your distance race is not going to win this race.
No, it absolutely is not going to win this race. And she's got to do it. In particular, keep your distance, has to do it in a week. Got to come back in a week.
And run better,
this horse ran. Yeah, I mean, she had to do some running at the end of that last 1/8 of a mile last time when it was 6.5, and now it's 6, and that could help her. But she had to do some real running at the end of that last race. Miss Loyalty was coming at her, and it wasn't like she was one of these geared down in the barn type. She was on fumes the last 1/8 of a mile, and
well, they did beat the rest of the field by 5 lengths. Just having Miss Loyalty ran.
But you know, she was the 2 horses coming out of the higher profile barns to me. Again, when you get to these bottom levels, I think you have to be a little more suspicious when you leave those barns.
Cold-Hearted Pearl, who you have second and I have fourth, has races out of town that can win. This trainer is 1 for 10 shipping horses in New York and hasn't won a race since 2015. I don't trust this horse.
She won a stakes race, I think, when she was here last. Remember that? It was one of those minor stakes races.
Those claiming races that we run the last weekend of March.
I want to say like
2015.
I want to say like a Wingfield.
All right, let's talk
something.
about this horse. I don't trust this horse's recent form. I don't like the last race this horse is coming out of. That was a very bad field.
What about the race 3 back?
Yeah, but the 3 back was off the claim, and the horse is not running back to that race. That's the problem. The problem is that horse not running back. I'm just telling you, that's what concerns me.
Get you going early. Maybe she's cycling into her best effort.
She's not impossible. I'm not.
She's not impossible, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm looking for new faces. I like Zeke a little bit here, and I understand. Absolutely no argument that Radiant Rhythm is the horse to beat. I'm not on some soapbox. I'm not against her, but I want to give Zeke a chance. Zeke lost all chance last time out when she broke slowly. Just jumped up at the start. She's down towards the inside. I'm not 100% convinced. That was a time period last Friday. I think the rail was very sketchy in the inside part of the track, and this horse went down to the rail in the stretch, and I think she was compromised by the track, and that is why she ran so badly relative to her recent races. Her races probably aren't good enough to win, but I think if you don't trust the claims, other than Radiant Rhythm, she can compete with anybody here, and she's going to be a price.
My biggest issue with her is when you have the Radiant Rhythms and the Cold-Hearted Pearls, and to a lesser extent, keep your distance. These fillies and mares that have been through the ring, that have won multiple races, 8, 10, 12, 15 races, and you have a filly that's only won these conditional claiming races. I have a big problem taking those types.
Yes, but you have her fourth, and you have Linda's Ballet third. Well, Linda's Ballet has about as much chance to win this race as you and I in a horseshoe.
She'll be in front of her. I know she lost all chance, but she's another one. She's coming back in a week. She's coming back in a week. And I know she didn't really do a lot of running last time after the break.
Horses come back in a week all the time.
Still a week. Well, I mean,
she'll beat Linda's Ballet.
I took 2 lunches from you yesterday back.
You did. You're down to 42.
You want to go for 2 more?
Yes, I do.
There you go.
Yes, I do. Linda's Ballet has absolutely no chance here.
Okay.
Now, I may be taking a horse that has no chance either, and they may finish 6th and 7th at the wire together, right. But Linda's Ballet to me is just ridiculous. Race number 3. Race number 3, there, in my opinion, 2 horses win. I have no idea. You have Legion Storm second, and I also disagree with David. I believe your horse will be favored, and I think he should be favored. Bad guy.
I do too.
I was surprised David made him the same price as Legion Storm. That seems, if he's the same price as Legion Storm, he won't win.
He'll be last if he's the same price as Legion Storm.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, at least to me. Look at Bad Guy's last race. You and I don't think he would have won this race. There was some, the usual hysteria on Twitter, where the exaggeration factor on Twitter is so off the charts, I don't even know where to start. But this horse does get totally shuffled out at the start. And I think Ray Lou would be the first to say, it wasn't a great ride. I think Ray Lou was more unlucky than it was a bad ride.
Agreed.
Because what is he supposed to do? I mean, he's way back in last, and I think he thought, it's a wet track, I'm going to be completely out of this race. And it's not like he guns this horse up. He more or less eases him, and the horse just runs himself into the race. And it's not so much that, it's the trouble he's going to get into around the 5/16 3/8 pole, where he gets eliminated. Yeah. He wasn't winning this race. No, he didn't have 6 lengths of trouble. I don't think people understand what 6 lengths of trouble really looks like, but he did run pretty well.
He did. It was first off the Rudy claim. Look, the problem is he is going to take a lot of money off of this race, because if we're to believe social media, this horse was 4.5 to 1 and not 14.5 to 1, because everybody bet.
He was not 14 to 1. Now you bet him, you picked him. I picked him second. We both bet him. Here he is steadying back.
Right. Is that 6 lengths of trouble?
I mean, to suggest that 6 lengths. Actually, I'm going to argue Ray Lou did a very good job with him. He didn't panic.
It's not being worse.
He came through inside. The horse who gets beaten comes through inside. The winner was a drop down. He got some things went well for him. He had some trouble. You're right. He was a 14-to-1 shot that the whole world had.
He ran into 2 horses last time. People say it's negative connotation. He ran into 2 ringers, but Beach Shy was a horse that was dropping in as well from the condition, from the allowance ranks. Right. Other things equal was
these horses would be either one of these horses individually going into this race off of their form going into here would be very short prices in here, and he probably should have lost by about 1.5 lengths, 2 lengths. He probably had 2.5 to 3 lengths.
Here's what the argument, and one of my friends gave me I accepted his argument. It was basically, well, he was making his move when he got steadied, and you don't know how it developed from the 5/16 pole home.
But he didn't lose that much momentum.
He didn't lose that much momentum. Ray Lou did a good job not getting him shuffled all the way out the back. I agree.
My concern is,
but he doesn't have either of those 2 horses to deal with.
Where the heck has he been? I know he was
canceled day.
Yeah, but that was 2 weeks ago. But that was still the cancel day was still.
I don't know if the race went.
Yeah, maybe the races didn't go. Maybe that's fair. By the way, Pete Aiello, I just saw him in his outfit. You and Pete Aiello should do a fashion show together. 2 big guys in racing. I think that would be a good.
I haven't seen him. Pete always dresses well.
He's got like a dark red shirt on. You guys could do like the. You should work some.
I'm very happy as the weight comes off. These jackets are able to close again. I'm very excited about all this.
I'm excited about it too.
I'm feeling good.
You've been good because you haven't talked about the weight that much.
No.
Chance. As far as Soul Flight, well, Soul Flight, in my opinion, is a better. I don't think he hates a wet track, but he's a better horse without moisture in the track. To use your example, and I just think Soul Flight. I agree with David. I'm not sure Soul Flight's not supposed to be favored here. I think he might be the best horse in this race. I just think the Bad Guy's going to get all of that trip money.
More importantly about the wet track, He ran into a horse last time that adores a wet track in Later Cat. His races on a wet track are so much better than his races on a dry track. I think that's a good example where, yes, his race 2 starts back on a wet track was abysmal, different kind of wet tracks, ran into a wet track horse last time, but his fast track race puts him right there. And, I mean, look, the elephant in the room here is one horse is 1 for 6, the other horse is 1 for 34, and has never run one on the dirt. Bad Guys Win came on the turf. I'm
now
saying
it's
this
Rudy.
to you,
You're assuming it's Rudy. He's going to improve and all those things, and you're absolutely right about all of that. But I agree. Maybe that's David's thinking, and maybe David's right about that. It's probably exactly what David looked. He probably thought, you really think that a 1 for 34 is going to be favored, and he's probably right about that. Now, I don't get Legion Storm at all. Now, you know what I think of Legion Storm going back to when Kieran had him. He was he just is who he is. I think the 2 or 3 have to win this race. I took the 2. I knew you'd pick the 3. I got no problem with either one of them. One of them is supposed to win this race.
Okay.
But we've seen a lot of one of these 2 is supposed to win around here, and neither of them get that, and somebody else wins. So
we sure have.
The board seems to be smarter than any handicapper I know these days.
Sir.
Race number 4. Race number 4 is kind of an interesting race. Did you get the big tip?
I did not.
Big tip in race number 4. We both picked him 3rd.
I figured that could be the only horse in this race you could possibly have a tip on.
will not be 8-1 here.
No.
Oh, the tips are flying around.
I haven't heard a word.
Yeah. One almost knocked me over in the hall downstairs.
Apparently there's a big tip on a horse at Gulfstream tomorrow, who I don't know who the horse is.
Big tip at Gulfstream.
There's a big tip at Gulfstream, and then apparently Junior Alvarado is not here Sunday, and he's named on at least 2, maybe 3 Mott first-time starters at Gulfstream on Sunday. So I got like 3 texts about that last night. They all call, I'm the information center.
I'll be in Saratoga.
Oh.
Go to Saratoga. See my mom.
Tell Lucy I said hello.
I will.
Oh, that's right. I'm doing the Prattle Sunday.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that. Terrible.
Heading up, though the trains were. There's a little issues with the trains, but everything's
You'll be
ironed
all right.
out.
You'll get
Don't
there.
worry. Race number 4. That was an interesting race. I think Kezar may just be better than these horses, Anthony, especially getting back to a dry track. Nothing clever. You look back at Kezar's races, they're just one after the other, just faster than these horses. I know she's had her chances. I'm going to say that she's just found the right spot, blinkers on, and I think she's supposed to get it done today.
Yeah,
I didn't think she'd be 2-1. I thought that Gotta Have a Holiday, we'll take a look at Gotta Have a Holiday in Yasminesque a couple of races ago, or last time. I thought she might be favored, but I got to tell you something, I can't bet her off this race. She was pitiful in here.
And she finds fields and dynamics.
You didn't like her in this race, and you were right. She
just coughs them up, man.
Yeah.
She just coughs up leads. That's just all it is. It's almost like it's the same Silks too. Our Circle of Love. And they're just finding ways to cough up and lose these leads.
And keep in mind, the disqualification had nothing to do with anything that happened to her.
Zero.
It happened to that horse in the back.
Correct. I mean, she's going to be where she's going to be. I mean, she is really hitting the wall in that race. I mean,
one thing is
Manny
Michelle
did a good
Nevin
job.
is much more live. Her horses were in a bad run at that time.
Very true.
To be fair, and she has the speed in this race, but she's a little tough to take.
And you can see, like, you know, they're throwing the kitchen sink at her, trying to get her out of the maiden race. They're taking the weight off in here. They're hoping to just blast her off, I would assume.
So is there a tip, or were you drinking when you picked Lovely Lucky?
Well, listen, she caught a wet.
You're sucking up to Rajiv.
That's Romero.
Well, I know, but Rajiv will be happy to see you pick it.
Rajiv would be happy, yeah. I mean, this horse had a little trouble at the start first time, caught a wet track last time. I want to give her one chance, like you.
His first race was awful.
Quasar's supposed to win here, but I just wanted to take one shot at a horse that's going to be 5-6-1. I'm going to use both of them.
5 or 6-1?
You don't think so?
I think this horse should be 56-1. I mean, have at it, but you think 5 or 6-1 is a good price on this horse?
I don't.
All right. She's lightly raced.
I don't understand how they keep Gotta Have a Holiday. I mean, haven't you seen enough?
Yeah, but I'm saying you went
enough?
Lovely Lucky. Maybe you're right. I think you're supposed to be getting 12-1 if you're betting
Well, if you're
horse.
right about the tip, apparently if the tip's going to take all the money, then I'll probably get 10-1 today, right? Jasmine will take some money and choose another one.
Yeah, I will say
I'm kind of sick of her act already, too.
I agree. No, I agree. You're a slightly raced.
It's probably better on turf anyway, right? Just trying to get through the winter.
The problem with Emperita is this was a very, very bad field she ran against last time, and she was claimed from her debut for $10,000. So I don't disagree with David that she's supposed to be a big price in here, but I've noticed a bunch of people picking this horse. Then I got a tip on this horse.
Debut late in the 3-year-old year, claimed, gone 15 months,
claimed
16 months.
for $10,000.
10,000, right? I have no idea.
Now, I won't argue with anybody that says that these are basically modified maiden 25s, but still.
This is a maiden special weight in name only. You kind of feel that way. I agree with that, but I mean, she's going to have to. I mean, based on her 2 numbers.
When I saw those running lines in Mountain and Mahoning Valley, I was shocked that Luch didn't own this horse. This horse had the stamp of Luch on it, right?
If you say there's a tip on a maiden,
this horse had the stamp of Luch. He's got to be looking at this one and saying, how did I miss him? Race number 5. Race number 5. You like Prince of Pharaohs. Everybody likes Prince of Pharaohs but me.
You took a shot against him, yeah, and you took the only horse I think you could probably take against him.
We'll get to that. I don't agree with you on that, but I don't know.
They ran the.
I don't know, man. First won the gold rail when he broke his maiden.
I know, but and I'm pretty sure Linda ran this horse on the turf first time out because all the American Pharaohs were running on the turf, and then this horse did what Linda Rice second-time starters do. He won, like Andy said. He was the benefit of a good track bias. Comes back, he runs I think a respectable second to Independent
Bourbon
Hall.
Bay did not run great out of that race.
He did not.
No,
He did not. I don't disagree. And then he chased wide last time in the Withers.
He had a bit of an excuse, but he was bad.
Yeah, he wasn't good. I like the fact that he's coming back kind of quickly. I like the fact that he's cutting back to the one turn. That should be enough in here. I think you have the only horse that I think.
Well, I don't agree with you. We'll look at something to tell you's last race. I don't know. This horse ran a 70 buyer second time out. Why can't this horse win this race? You act like this horse has no chance here. I think you're being ridiculous.
3.5 months away.
So what?
Yeah. Gonna have to deal with.
I got the phoniest invite ever, by the way, from Christophe yesterday. Come on. That to come to some party they're having a suite at Gulfstream on, like, Barton Youth Day. Like, there was some chance that I was going to be there. I mean, that's like inviting somebody to a wedding on the moon.
That's great. Right? I had a friend of mine invite me to a wedding in Australia once. What was the number on that? 8 zillion to 1?
You got to be very careful with these invites from Clement. You never know who's going to be at the house. It's very tricky with him. Yeah. Anyhow, I disagree with you. I think this horse can win. This horse ran fast enough to be competitive here in his second start, and I see it as a very neutral trainer change going from. So now Christophe has great trainer change numbers, but they're small. As far as Giant Shoes, Giant Shoes was bet first time. He was 6-1 on the board, but the double actually paid less than the win price, and he was an overwhelming favorite of the double. And it was ended a turf race, but he ran. And then last time out, I know it wasn't bad to be wide last time, but he got out. He was out in no man's land. He was like out in the 5 and 6 pat the whole way. Yeah. That goofy, tough race coming back in just a few weeks after it. I think this horse could be okay, and I'm going to take a small shot with him. I feel like he's the one that has enough more forward movement than the other ones. First time on a dry track, and he's not. I don't know if he's going to be 9-2, but he's definitely going to be a bigger price. They may go hog wild for Prince of Pharaohs, in which case I'll get a square price on.
And he's one of those horses where he made that big dramatic last to first run, first time out.
It wasn't last to first.
Oh, first time out rather. But you don't feel. I didn't feel anyway like he was going to be one of these one-run sprinters. I feel like when you combine his pedigree with the way he was able to make up that ground first time out, I think the miles going to hit him right between the eyes.
Those Tocket mares. Oh. How often do you see Tocket in a pedigree? Remember when the owner, Dan Borislow, the late Dan Borislow, who hit the Rainbow Six pool, and then how long ago did he die after that? Not even that long,
Months,
right?
August. He was playing soccer. He was a good dude.
Remember when he was campaigning for Tossa to be 2-year-old champion?
He was the best.
Right?
He was the best.
Yeah, I think he ran the Remsen. Did he win it? I think he won. Then he went to Hollywood Park and he ran in their juvenile race.
He bet $200,000 to win on Tonalist going into the gate at Belmont Stakes Day.
Did he really? Tremendous. We miss him.
My hero.
Yeah,
he was a good guy. Really
race
good
number
guy.
6. I had a huge problem with race number 6. You've taken Business Cycle. I don't know, man. He's the worst to beat, but I just didn't want to put him on top.
Now I'm going against what I said earlier. Right, and I'm taking a horse that has only won the condition claiming races.
Well,
but when you look at the 3 races he's run after the condition claiming races, he ran at the Data Driven and Where's Rudy last time in 2 of those 3 races.
I know.
Manny's climbing back aboard. Gary Gullo does a great job.
Jockey change. I know.
I mean,
blah, blah, blah. He's
you look through the rest of this bunch.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we'll look at Majestic Affair winning 2 back, and then last time out he got in a chasing situation against much better. I mean.
We're going to get him a mile, Andy, at this point in his career?
Well,
we're going to try and get him a mile?
He's got races going long back in his career. They're good enough.
That's why I said at this point. I know it was 7.
No, I know. I'm with you. I picked him 3rd. I'm not in love with him, but you're going to be. What, you're going to be shocked when this horse wins?
I'm not going to be shocked when any of them win. They're in for 8,000, but he's the kind of horse where I feel like at this point we got to put him on one of the Naira vans to get him the last 1/8 of a mile. And last time he had We Should Talk, who I think more than anything else proved he wanted nothing to do with a step past 6 or 6.5 furlongs. He had the best of everything two back when he won. I just don't know about him getting that extra panel today. I don't.
I'm not cutting it that thin. I don't think there's that much to cut thin. I think he can win.
Monteleone's. He doesn't have any. He shows no.
He ran very well last time, Monteleone. To be fair, Anthony, no, he ran very well because he got caught in that pace that just completely incinerated. Not very well. He ran well enough that just incinerated. But I don't really know that he's a miler. See, I think the Majestic Affair is better off getting a mile than him, and Monteleone's still a wet track type horse, and he's a short price. And I hate this kind of drop down for Linda. She is just dumping this horse, and that's not her move. As far as Mills is running at the bottom for the first time. Mills's last race was atrocious. There is no doubt about it. But speaking of blowouts, Local Hero looked like the second coming of Hindu.
And I don't think you could really indict anybody off that race because Local Hero's race came from seemingly from out of nowhere. Even Shalako, I mean, he
stunned everybody.
Yeah.
That was a good call for you. You picked up that Shalako was the only one with a chance around the 5/16 bowl.
Thank you.
And his other races are good. He doesn't win either. I get it. But the thing about him is, he's going to be 5-6 to 1 in here, and I can take him at that price. That's all. I know he doesn't win much, but I don't mind taking a bigger price because his race 2 back wasn't bad. He was totally compromised by the racetrack 2 back. It was a speed favoring track. He tried to make the move in the snow, and I actually don't think he ran that bad.
We talk about the all-button races, right? To me, this is not an all-button race. To me, I'm using 2s and 3s. Would I be surprised if the rest of them won? No. I'm using 2s and 3s and just hoping for the best because it's hard for me to see the other ones.
Race number 7. There's a lot going on in race number 7. And I put up the autonomous video first because Anthony has a pack to pick every single Karovich horse that's ever been entered.
Here we go.
And, you know, your loyalty is real. It's touching. It really is. I got a slight tear in my eye. Wait, I got to wipe my eye.
You don't think that she's running in a spot she belongs for the first time since
Anthony?
Now, in hindsight.
Anthony, at this point, and it pains me
to say
this. You don't know what
spot she belongs in?
I just think she's not very good.
Okay.
What do I think?
Okay.
I don't know if she has the pedigree to be a broodmare, but I'm going to thinking that her next move is to run for a tag.
Here's what I'll say.
I know that cutting back helps, but can
I give you my defense?
My problem with Chad Brown horses is they're supposed to just win. When they're supposed to win, they don't win. It's a big black mark.
My quick defense. She wins, first time out. Chad runs her back 24 days later, under the lights at Penn National. She gets beat from the inside draw. They come back and run another mile.
Oh, she was awful at Penn National. Don't give me the inside draw.
She was terrible, but she was also coming back in 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. Okay. And then she goes the mile, and she ran fine.
How did the True Thirds run next time out?
She also ran against Harvey's Little Goyle. I mean, let's be honest here.
Anthony, she hasn't finished yet. She's
but I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm saying to you is she looked like a horse last time.
Look at the wind.
Who just had some...
Just look at the wind over there.
She just had some distance limitations.
I think it's easy.
And now she's back to 6. She has 6 weeks between starts. This is another one. You could make a case for 3 or 4 of them in here.
She can win. I don't disagree.
She shows up. I think they're all running for second money.
No, come on.
I really do.
It shows up with what? With what? Her big 71 debut figure? Oh, get out of here. Now, the worst if she shows up is Fierce Lady. I mean, Fierce Lady, but Fierce Lady was so bad last time, it's almost hard to believe. She was on a good rail last time and she stopped.
Do you think there's a better chance of Autonomous showing up or Fierce Lady obviously puts Autonomous second? There's a better chance of Autonomous showing up with her best race.
All I can say about Fierce Lady is they turned down like real money for her after her debut. I'd be in tears every night I went to bed.
How much would you be looking to sell Fierce Lady at 2 to 1 today? You want anything to do with Fierce Lady at 2 to 1?
Well, I don't know. I'm scared of her, but she was brutal last time.
That last effort was.
She has races. Nothing. She has races that would smother this field.
And the track was helping her that day.
It was. I just said it. Okay, we got one more. Oh, Love of My Heart and Kansas Chris. I like Love of My Heart. I don't know. What was wrong with her last race?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I thought the track was very fair. I mean, speed was okay, but I don't think she was super helped by the racetrack. I thought she just ran.
Yeah, she did. She beat a horse that took 5 starts to break a maiden, as evident by the number 3.
I hate to say this. Well,
and then Rude Awakening got beat for the tag the other day.
I hate to say this about Rude Awakening ran fine.
Yeah, she did.
I think that Mikey was right. The rail may not have been a place to be yesterday. Dylan, get her off the rail.
Dylan.
He's got to work out a trip on her. I think she's the one that may have the upside on these. That's my hope.
Listen, she won the 1 start on the dirt. It was a good effort. She had some tactical speed. She pounced and won.
Ilchester Cheetah, you've got second?
I do.
Well, you did have plebe on top, so you were drunk when you handicapped this card.
I don't know. This Jerry O'Dwyer does a good job shipping these horses.
4.5 furlong races?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She won't go in 6 at Laurel. She won't go in 5.5 and 6 at Laurel.
Yeah, how do those races stack up to this field?
I don't know. Maybe the wet track helped the last time.
Well, a lot of people leave you with a smile. That last race is too much of an aberration for me. I don't trust that, that race. I don't want that fig going forward.
Me either.
Well, did beat your second choice. Easily beat your second choice. So I don't know how you don't have this horse on top. Well, you can't have him on top because you got to have Seth's horse on top.
Right, of course. You know that.
So does he.
I think that's in my contract.
With us or with him?
Both.
Race number 8. Race number 8. We'll look at Central Exit's last race. I have second. I was going to put on top. I figured I'd mix it up. I actually kind of assumed you'd pick it. I don't disagree with you. He's kind of supposed to win today. She's kind of supposed to win today. But would you disagree? She's now on the precipice of, she's got to win it today.
The divorce papers are ready.
Yeah.
They're
How
ready
about
to
that
be
stop
sent
by
out.
Gary's horse the last? That horse, like we talked about in the show stopping.
Worse than last time.
I know. At 6 for 6.5. Doesn't matter the distance. Maybe run her 2 miles, you'll get to the 16th pole. And oh my God.
Like the Michelle Nevin
That
horse.
horse, the whole field wanted to pass that horse in the last 50 yards. Wow.
You know, I wish when I was a kid, I would have kept lists of these horses. The
Oh, the
one that
famous horses.
sticks out in my mind. You remember Lukey's Pop?
Yeah.
Lukey's Pop was one of those, right?
Stop.
He was just the 8th pole would come, and it didn't matter if he was running in the 8th phenomenon or if he was running for 16.5. He just stopped, right?
Amazing with some horses, yeah.
I mean,
I picked Hazy on the old needed a race. They tried
Sure.
first time. I don't think there was anything going on first time. I'm just wondering if this horse might have needed a first time. I don't know if this horse can run at all anymore, but I'll give him one more chance coming out. I don't have any big story on him.
David has left-leaning Lucy to 1 at 4-1. She was the kind of horse.
Everybody likes this horse. David likes this horse. I didn't see it. Did you?
She did a little run. Yeah, you know what? She broke alertly.
She ran okay.
In her debut. She dropped all the way back, and then she came running again late.
Yeah, but that was a terrible field.
It wasn't a great field.
I thought a late run was a little bit of an illusion. Listen, I'm supposed to pick her. My mom. Pick for Lucy.
I know.
I know, there aren't a lot of Lucy horses out there. But I don't
And I'm not letting Mike, as the president of the Mike Maselli fan club, I'm not leaving out the first of Tiny Magoo. I'm using the 4 and 1, 3, 5, 6.
Homebred. 1 of 7 foals was okay. Dam's 23 years old, maybe. I don't know. I've got the 7 for home in there for James Chapman coming in. 2 of the 3 poles that for home is a have to actually were kind of runners, so I think that horse might be a little interesting.
Interesting last race. I mean, I think the favorite should get the job done, but we're not going to be surprised when she runs 3rd.
Yeah, she's way the horse to beat.
She's the horse to beat.
No argument there. Anything else all right?
Yeah.
Ready for the weekend?
Yeah, got to up early tomorrow to host the Equine Forum. Romero Mirage going to join me to talk about the move to New York. Yeah.
He's staying here?
He's staying. Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Is he moving into Raj's house? Now, did Raj do some sort of angle by Raj to like rent his house out or something? He convinced his cousin to come up here?
Raj has a tenant right now. Raj already has a tenant. I don't know if, I think Romero's there as well. I don't know.
I don't even want to think about what's going on in that house. Anyhow, I want to think about you going over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, sign on. They having barbecues on the weekends? I'm head over. 100% deposit match up to $200. App only 20% winners bonus in the early pick 4 today through Naira Bets. That's races 2 through 5. Also the cross country pick 5 tomorrow. It's a 2-hour event, 4:15 to around 6:15. The first race is at Tampa, race 8. Then we come to Aqueduct, race 7, Oaklawn, race 7, Tampa, race 10, Oaklawn, race 9. Did a podcast to be available. Tweet that out when that comes available. Taped that this morning, handicapping the races. Had a good time with some other gentlemen as well, or some gentlemen. I wouldn't put myself in their their company.
You're a gentleman.
The Gotham Challenge.
There it is.
There it is. You can sign up until Thursday. $500 entry fee. You can play at home or through Naira Bets. Now, let's head upstairs to the man himself, the voice of New York racing, John Imbrial.